A little tank engine. The guy that's sitting there on the couch with the bad hip, that's actually his engine. He and his dad own it. And,
What's that red stuff?
yeah, don't step in that. That's oil from the engine.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that'll mess up your shoes. Now, Barney was out here. He could tell you the whole history behind this thing. I don't really know it. But it was used, I mean, it was a Lehigh Valley Coal Company. They used it as a, I believe it's in Pennsylvania. They used it to switch, at a coal mine in Pennsylvania, they used it to switch coal cars around. And this is our shop where all the real work happens on the locomotives. Yeah. This is where all the work gets done. We can go back through the corner if you want to show you these machine tools.
It stinks in here.
It does.
That's from working on the engines.
Yeah. When the Ann Arbor Railroad was here, just over here to the side of our building is where the Ann Arbor Railroad steam locomotive back shop used to be. These machine tools came out of that building. They were the actual machines that were used to maintain the Ann Arbor steam locomotives. Watch your step when we... Oh, they're not here.
Yeah, they're going back over there.
So these machine tools, for the most part, came out of the Ann Arbor Railroad back shop and were used to keep the Ann Arbor Railroad's steam locomotives running. And we were able to get those machines out of that shop before the building was torn down. So that's a little piece of the Ann Arbor Railroad's history that's been retained.
Big press.
Yeah, big press. I'll show you something else that's quite large. It's still sitting outside. I'm not a machinist, so don't ask me any questions about the machines. I'll show you that picture of that locomotive. It was new. That's what it looked like when it was new. That one sitting outside.
What year was that?
I
Approximately.
think in 1918, I think. Don't quote me on that. Somewhere around, might have been around 1920. I'm not precisely sure, but about 100 years ago. These are the stay bolts. They're an essential part of the boiler.
Right.
There are thousands of those stay bolts inside the boiler on 1225. And nearly all of them were replaced at this last overhaul that we had done. They come in different shapes and sizes and whatnot,
Right.
but that's what the stay bolts are, what supports the firebox inside the boiler and holds it in position as the pressure in the boiler builds up. Those stay bolts hold everything in position. That's about it for the place is not really set up for visitors yet.
Right.
I don't know, did you see the architectural renderings on the, hanging up in the museum of what we hope to do here eventually?
No.
Before you leave, the door in the museum that faces the track where the locomotive is sitting right now,
Mm-hmm.
if you go in that door and look on you kind of have to make a right-hand turn, but you'll see some architectural renderings of our museum property and what we would like to do with it. So
Mm-hmm.
I encourage you to take a look at that and give you an idea what we hope to have here someday if the resources become available.
Right.
It's like it's trying to snow a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
That's the cab of that little steam engine. There's parts of that engine that are all over the property.
Mm-hmm.
I'll show you a piece of machinery back here. It's kind of impressive. Take it down here. Careful. I don't know if you want to go back down there. That big machine that's on the back flat car,
Mm-hmm.
that is a 90-inch wheel lathe. That's used to turn the main drive wheels on the big steam engines to keep them nice and round.
Wow.
And they don't make those anymore. There are very few of those wheel lathes left. Most of them were scrapped. When the steam locomotives were scrapped, most of those machines were scrapped right along with it. That's it. That's a wheel lathe for the drive wheels on the steam engine.
So is that functional?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And we actually used it before the building was torn down. We used it. We're hoping to have it reinstalled before too long, and we don't have an immediate need for it, but
Mm-hmm.
we're hoping to have it reinstalled in the not too distant future.
Right.
But yeah, it works.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. You need a pretty big crane to lift one of those big drive wheels up and set it in there, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Eventually all these tools will, if we get our shop built the way we want to, we hope all these tools will be back installed and
Mm-hmm.
doing the job they were intended to do someday. So
Right.
anyway, that's actually probably rarer than the steam locomotive itself, because most of these, as I said, have been scrapped. There aren't very many left.
Mm-hmm. I never realized those turntables were that big. When you get-
Yeah, some of them are even bigger than that. They'd come, I think the longest ones were about 130 feet long.
Mm-hmm.
This was a pretty average size. I mean, as the locomotives got bigger, the turntables had to get bigger too, so
Right.